In today's video, J.B. Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson are panicking after President Trump signaled he would deploy National Guard troops to Chicago. Also, Abrego Garcia has been detained by ICE as they seek to deport him to Uganda. And Governor Wes Moore, he gets embarrassed by President Trump. And all these stories will show you what both sides are saying and give you the bottom line.
A war of words broke out over the weekend between President Trump and Democratic Governor Wes Moore of Maryland, amid the president's threats to send National Guard troops to other American cities, including Baltimore. And Governor Moore joins us now. So, Wes Moore, great to have you on the show. You've invited him to walk the streets of Baltimore. Baltimore has its problems. Talk about, first of all, your reaction to the president's intentions, and what is the status of crime in Baltimore?
Well, you know, we continue to listen to the president make just blissfully ignorant comments about Baltimore and really going back to 1980s scare tactics and tropes about our American cities. And what I said is that, you know, you should really come be informed and come be educated, because if you came and spent time with the people on the ground who are actually doing the work, you could not only see the progress that's being made, but also see the devotion. But since I've been the governor the past 2.5 years, we have now cut the number of vacant homes in half in the city of Baltimore. The state of Maryland is having amongst the fastest drops in violent crime anywhere in the United States. The city of Baltimore, the last time the homicide rate was this low, I was not born yet.
Yeah, so again, you could say one thing, but the numbers say another, okay? There's 233 homicides so far this year, meaning there's still a homicide a day. There are 260 rapes, definitely more than one rape a day. Plenty of robberies, as you guys know. And the fact of the matter is, it says that chances of becoming a victim of violent crime in Baltimore is 1 in 63. You know where that puts them? Safer than 1% of U.S. cities. I don't understand why the governor would try to defend Baltimore. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, anybody who lives in Baltimore, anybody that's aware of Baltimore knows Baltimore is not a safe city. It's just like Memphis, just like Chicago. You can claim, yeah, for the last 2 years, crime has been trending down. Even when it's trending down, it's still above the national average. But that's what these politicians do.
Why are Democrat governors angrier about federal law enforcement helping clean up their streets than they are about the fact that those streets need to be cleaned up to begin with? It shows a real sickness in the head. And I agree with the President of the United States. I think most Democrats, rank and file, nobody likes crime. Republicans don't like crime. Democrats don't like crime. Independents don't like crime. Why are Democratic governors doing everything in their power to make crime easier to do in their cities? It doesn't make an ounce of sense to me. But, Mr. President, I appreciate you being willing to help, and I hope these governors take you up on the offer, because we should clean up all of America's streets. It's the right of every American to live in safety and comfort in their community.
Now, before we go any further, if you're getting value from this video or our channel, please like, share, and subscribe. We also have a merch store that you can shop if you do want to support us further. We release new designs every single week, or you could go to the link in the description below and buy us a cup of coffee. Now, as stated in the beginning here, there seems to be a back and forth between the president and the governor. So the president called the governor out for pretty much what we already know. Your crime is out of control in your own city. You keep trying to sugarcoat it and gaslight people. And he even went on to say that Baltimore is ranked the 4th worst city in the nation in crime and murder. Stop talking and get to work, Wes. I'll then see you on the streets. And then the president went on to say this: did Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, lie about getting a Bronze Star? And this is why I said in the very beginning, if you're going to attack President Trump, think about Alvin Bragg, think about Letitia James, think about Fannie Willis, right? Don't attack someone who is the president of the United States and have dirt in your closet, because it will be exposed. Now, when he brought this up, you know what the governor had to say in response? Get noted, Donald. Instead of calling him the president, because someone used Grok to ask the question, did Maryland Governor Wes Moore receive a Bronze Star in December of 2024? It goes on to say it was awarded retroactively after his former commander resubmitted the recommendation following a 2024 controversy over a premature claim on a 2006 application. Well, unfortunately for Mr. West here, I'm not an idiot. So someone asked Grok the question, so when he claimed to have one in 2007 all the way to 2023, was Wes Moore's claim that he had a Bronze Star false? Grok ends up saying, yes, Wes Moore's claims of having received a Bronze Star from 2007 to 2023 were inaccurate at the time, as the award wasn't officially granted until December of 2024. Meaning what, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, he committed stolen valor. Now, before I go any further, I'll show you two clips. They go all the way back almost 20 years where he is acknowledging that he did receive a Bronze Star. Take a look.
You're a decorated veteran of the Afghan War, yes, correct? Get the Bronze Star. Okay. Now I am.
And Wesley Moore, a captain in the U.S. Army Reserve, while on active duty, he completed a combat tour of duty in Afghanistan and earned a Bronze Star medal. Welcome to you all.
Yeah. Now, as a veteran who served 13 years in the Army, this is probably the most frustrating thing that you can see from veterans, okay? I don't understand why you have to lie about getting a Bronze Star. You know if you have one or not. Right behind me is my shadow box. It's got all of my awards. All of those awards are where? On my DD Form 214. That's the official document that says how long you served, where you served, what award you got, what rank did you discharge as. We went through the same stupid nonsense with Tim Walz and his lies. I don't understand why veterans who serve in politics, they have to lie, because the average Joe Schmo walking down the street doesn't even know what a Bronze Star is. So why lie about it? I mean, it's just so disgusting. And in case you just needed more proof, here is a story by the Washington Post. Maryland Governor Moore calls false Bronze Star claim honest mistake. After a report, the New York Times reported that when applying for a White House fellowship in 2006, Moore claimed in writing that he was a recipient of the medal. You wouldn't do that unless you have the supporting documentation to say that. The fact that he did it tells you it's stolen valor. There's no way to talk yourself out of this. And every veteran knows this. Now, of course, if you had Trump derangement syndrome, you'll try to make an excuse for the governor.
And inside of this country, Baltimore is a horrible, horrible deathbed. It's a deathbed. I know Governor Moore said, oh, he wants to take a walk with me. He meant it in a derogatory tone. I said, no, I'm the president of the United States. Clean up your crime and I'll walk with you. But it's tremendous crime. But he was trying to be derogatory. He doesn't have what it takes. But he's trying to be derogatory. And I met him at the Army-Navy game. They said, oh, there's Governor Moore. He'd love to see you. He came over to me. He hugged me, shook my hand. You were there. He said, sir, you're the greatest president of my lifetime. I said, well, it's really nice that you say that. I'd love you to say it publicly, but I don't think you can do that, so it's okay. But no, sir, you're doing a fantastic job. I want to just shake your hand. Thank you very much, Governor. That was it. And then every time I see him on television, he's knocking the hell out of me. So, but that's all right. That's called politics.
All right, so allow me to share a quick message from today's sponsor, Bearskin. Yes, it is summertime right now, but let's not forget, winter will come, and the last thing you need is a hoodie that sucks. It's a great time to do your winter shopping, which is why most people are smart by locking in their 60% off with Bearskin. What is Bearskin exactly? It's what I'm wearing right now. It's a hoodie that is built like a tank, 340 GSM micro fleece, 10 pockets with a clean, rugged fit that looks awesome. As you guys can see, I look great, right? I mean, come on. Plus, it zips right into a heavy storm rain jacket to become 100% waterproof when you need it. So when it turns cold, wet, or rainy, you're not scrambling last minute. Plus, you're going to get free U.S. shipping, fast delivery, and your winter gear already locked in. So get your Bearskin today by texting my name, Devori, to 36912. Again, text my name, Devori, to 36912 to get 60% off. They'll send you a link so you could check out on your own time. Once again, text my name, Devori, to 36912. Now, the president was referring to this clip that I'm about to show you where he met Wes Moore. And they were very complimentary of each other. And that's just the way that it goes with President Trump. When people actually meet him in person, they can't help but to smile. I mean, they have to hold their smiles back because that's his personality, okay? There's just a certain impact because of his personality that he has on people. It's very personable. Everybody knows that. That's kind of his gift that other politicians may not have, and they're not as effective. Having said that, this is the way Democrats are. In private, oh, they'll shake his hand. They'll smile. We've seen that with Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, They act like nothing's wrong. They treat him as if he's not Hitler. But when they leave his presence and they're in front of a camera or they're on a network like MSDNC, they make it sound like it's Armageddon. Now let's actually take a look at this clip together, and you let me know what you think about it.
Mr. President, welcome back to Maryland, sir. Welcome back to Maryland. It's good to see you. It's in person too. Thank you, sir. Great to see you. Great to see you. And great to have you back here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we were very, very anxious to be able to work closely with you, and I know the Key Bridge is something that we're specifically. It's going well. I mean, we spoke with Speaker Johnson yesterday.
Yeah, so we know exactly who Governor Wes Moore is. He is the veteran. He did serve his country honorably. He did commit stolen valor. He also has Trump derangement syndrome. He's one way in front of President Trump and then another way in front of a camera. He's the mayor of one of the worst cities when it comes to crime. There's no question about it. We know who he is politically. So at the end of the day, I guess the question is, should President Trump send the National Guard into Baltimore to clean that city up? And should Democrats work with him to make sure that they work with the president instead of against him? You guys let me know if you guys see it the same way. Okay, so now we go to our next story, and this is all about Mayor Brandon Johnson and the governor of Illinois, JB Pritzker. Both of these individuals are panicking because they know President Trump is not playing games. He wants to clean up their streets. And if he does that, he makes them look weak, which we already know they are. They're soft on crime, no question about it. Mayor Brandon Johnson has a 7% approval rating, but it's not going to stop him from holding a press conference just hours ago trying to fight back against President Trump. Take a look.
We sometimes disagree on how to effectively solve the many challenges that our state and our city face on a daily basis. But today we are standing here united, in public, in front of the cameras, unafraid to tell the president that his proposed actions will make our jobs harder and the lives of our residents worse. Earlier today in the Oval Office, Donald Trump looked at the assembled cameras and asked for me personally to say, "Mr. President, can you do us the honor of protecting our city?" Instead, I say, "Mr. President, do not come to Chicago." You are neither wanted here nor needed here. Your remarks about this effort over the last several weeks have betrayed a continuing slip in your mental faculties and are not fit for the auspicious office that you occupy. Most alarming, you seem to lack any appropriate concern as our commander-in-chief for the members of the military that you would so callously deploy as pawns in your ever more alarming grabs for power.
All right, so you guys know exactly what's going on here, okay? The governor, the mayor, they're going to triple down on the messaging that Democrats are continuing to use, which is President Trump wants more power. He's not really trying to be a part of the solution. He just wants to use military service members as pawns, which, let's just be honest here, Congress has used military personnel as pawns for decades on end now. I mean, I served in Afghanistan. I mean, let's just call it what it is. But anyways, that's the whole point of the National Guard, to respond to local emergencies and to be there to support local situations. And that's exactly why it makes sense to deploy the National Guard. But fine. Point being here that I have for you guys is that this is what you're going to continue to see. And the problem with this is they're going to be on the wrong side of this, because if the president can get results, you're not going to be able to argue against that. That's what happened with D.C. Now, here's Mayor Brandon Johnson claiming that this is actually racist.
Instead of spending hundreds of millions of dollars for a publicity stunt to invoke chaos and terror, the federal government should spend that money on proven solutions to crime and violence reduction. We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
Now, before I provide my opinion about what he just had to say, let's go back a little bit, because over the weekend, this same mayor, when you're talking about invoking chaos, that's what he did when he suggested that the people of Chicago will not only rise up, but they will fight against National Guard troops deploying to his city. Take a look.
And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people in this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
Yeah, so these Democrats are comedians because we know he's not really protecting the people who live in Chicago. He is protecting the illegal aliens in Chicago, no question about it. Now, the president responded to this by saying the incompetent mayor of Chicago just stated that in D.C., where crime has been brought down to almost nothing, there have been no murders in 9 days, something which hasn't happened in years, and people are safe again. Only 9 people have been arrested. Basically saying that the mayor of Chicago got the numbers wrong because he was too busy trying to criticize the president. And of course, he went on to say that that is wrong. Hundreds of criminals have been held, captured, and arrested, and their guns have been taken away. D.C. is safe and booming. Now, the president did speak about the mayor earlier today, but before I show you that, here is Janine Pirro, the U.S. attorney now for D.C., and what she had to say in response to this. Take a look.
What my response to that is, you know what tyranny is? Tyranny is when you can't walk outside and go to dinner. Yep. Tyranny is when they shoot you and the person walks out of jail before you get out of the hospital. Tyranny is when people are not made accountable. And they should hope that the president comes in with this unified force. And his joking only 9 arrests, I'll tell you what the good news is that this mayor can't figure out. The good news is that they're afraid to commit crimes. When you have an increased law enforcement, people in the community, especially the crime-ridden community, they're saying, thank you. They're afraid to commit crimes because they know they'll be accountable. Johnson ought to hope that the president comes there to clean up the mess in Chicago.
Well, if you want to see how his policies are working, look at Chicago.
And Brian said his approval rating, and one of the approval ratings was 6%.
Yeah, he's got 6% approval. Another one, the high was 26%.
Yeah, everybody knows that, but half the country won't admit it, okay? Because if they were going to admit that an increased presence of law enforcement with the support of the National Guard would crack down on crime and make criminals think twice, that would mean they'd have to agree with President Trump. And they're just not going to do it. That's the reality. And the reason why I continue to bring that fact up is because you're going to have friends and family who disagree with you on this. Okay, you're going to have friends and family that say, do you see what President Trump is doing? He's sending the National Guard into these cities. Yeah, that's exactly what should happen because the mayors of these cities don't want to do their job. Or the governor isn't giving the cities the resources to do their job. They're just understaffed. That's the bottom line to it. And not mention the policies that are involved, like being soft on crime and allowing these criminals to get out of jail quickly here and commit the same crime again. Not to mention that. So yeah, the president's going to send in the National Guard. Makes total sense. Now, here is what the president had to say earlier today.
This is a meeting and a group of people that are doing an unbelievable job on a thing called crime, and in particular, violent crime. Today we're going to be discussing it, and I watched as a very incompetent mayor from Chicago said, well, what do they know? They only arrested 9 people. I said, 9 people? We didn't arrest 9 people. We actually arrested a total of well over 1,000 people. We took hundreds of guns away from young kids that were throwing them around like it was candy. We apprehended scores of illegal aliens. We seized dozens of illegal firearms. There have been 0 murders. It sounds sort of terrible to say. It's embarrassing. I did this over the weekend. I'm making a speech, and I acted like I was so proud as I said, we've had 0 murders in the last week. And some of these people were from foreign countries. They said, that doesn't sound so good. And I said, well, it doesn't sound good, but Washington was the most dangerous place in this country, and now, you know what? It's probably the safest place in our country. Everyone's starting to come here. The restaurants now you can't get in. Many of them closed because they couldn't open with crime. Everybody before me is happy what I'm doing. Most of you won't say that because you're radical left. The newspapers are so dishonest. The press is totally dishonest, but that's all right. We've gotten used to it. And we won in a landslide, so they obviously lost their power.
Now, the governor responded to the president by recording a video earlier today of him walking next to the lake and claiming that people can move freely. They have no problem. Crime is not an issue. I guess that's his way to rebuke what the president is saying, but we all know it's not going to work. Take a look.
Well, here I am on the path on the lakefront at 6 a.m.
on Monday. And we got a lot of people running, having a great time. It doesn't feel like a hellhole here. In fact, everybody's having a great time and enjoying themselves. So I don't know who in Washington thinks that Chicago is some sort of hellhole, but you may need to look inward.
All right. So according to the governor, Chicago is a safe city. And if people are saying that crime is a problem there, they need to look inward. So why don't we apply that concept? And what I'm going to do is show you a clip from people who live in Chicago. Let's start with the business side of it. Here is a pub owner and what he has to say about crime in Chicago. Maybe he should look inward too, right, Governor?
Today, you hardly see a police car in a neighborhood. So.
Declan Morgan has owned and operated Irish Nobleman Pub in Westtown for more than 20 years. Yet in recent years, violent crime has literally walked through the front door.
Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up.
This is video from the bar from when the armed robbery crew came in right before closing, taking cash and belongings from customers, employees, and the pub.
It just seems like crime is really out of control right now.
He and many in the neighborhood contributed to the closure of that police station, and cops in the 12th district now stationed so far away.
We're 600 north here. We're by Chicago Avenue, and our police district is in Pilsen. Mayor Johnson's more worried about his school board and his, pension stuff that he's working on. He should be worried more about the, neighborhoods in Chicago.
Now, two things stood out to me in that clip. Number one, according to the people who were doing this story, CBS News, this gentleman was one of the reasons why the local police department that was stationed down the street was closed. So obviously, if that is indeed true, and he's SOL. I mean, these are the type of people who believe in defunding the police. You get what you deserve. This is what you voted for. All right. So next story. This actually happened earlier today, and it is breaking news. Abrego Garcia has been detained by ICE officials as they seek to deport him to Uganda. Now, this is crazy if you really think about it. Why that location? Well, because they could deport him anywhere but El Salvador. And at the same time, they're still trying to put him in prison for the crimes that he committed as an illegal alien. Now, before we go any further, I want you to hear exactly what happened this morning. Take a look.
The high-profile illegal immigrant dubbed the Maryland Father by Legacy Media was released on Friday from a Tennessee jail. This is after he rejected a plea deal offer. Well, that offer would have sent him to Costa Rica in exchange for pleading guilty to human smuggling charges.
But now, Kilmar, Abrego Garcia's days on U.S. soil could be winding down as he is back in ICE custody, and his attorney says that is out of bounds.
Mr. Abrego Garcia was taken into custody by ICE this morning. There was no need for them to take him into ICE detention. He was already on electronic monitoring from the U.S. Marshal Service and basically on house arrest. The only reason that they've chosen to take him into detention is to punish him.
Well, last time I checked, if you break the law, usually you are punished for breaking the law, especially when we're talking about an individual who crossed the border illegally and an individual who also allegedly beat his wife. And there are supporting documentation to prove that, because she did file a temporary restraining order, and not to mention he was pulled over the side of the road smuggling other human beings, but they had to let him go because under the Biden administration, they weren't looking to hold illegal aliens accountable. So in that regard, yeah, he probably should be punished.
As of this moment, he's out of prison awaiting trial in Tennessee for federal human smuggling charges. About 150 supporters came out to Baltimore early this morning for a 6:30 a.m. rally featuring Abrego Garcia. The crowd now thinning out. It's been largely peaceful, people singing, playing on guitars. DHS officials, though, have indicated they may deport him, but not back to his home country of El Salvador, possibly to Uganda. Here's Abrego Garcia earlier.
Seguirán luchando, orando, creyendo en la dignidad y la libertad, no solo para mí, para todos.
Promise me that you will continue to pray, continue to fight, resist, and love, not just for me, but for everybody. Continue to demand freedom. Thank you so much.
All right, just really quickly here, the fact that he's been in the country for over 10 years and he still doesn't speak English, I just will never understand that. I don't have a problem with someone speaking Spanish. I just don't understand why you don't speak Spanish and English after a decade, okay?
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem out with a statement over the weekend saying, by ordering this monster loose on America's streets, this judge has shown a complete disregard for the safety of the American people. We will not stop fighting till this Salvadoran man faces justice and is out of our country. As Bill Melugin rightly noted, that he had that option to go to Costa Rica, I should say, for pleading guilty, not even to live in prison in Costa Rica, as far as we understand it. But he rolled the dice. He's in ICE custody, and he could be going to Uganda or potentially another country very soon.
Now, Homeland Security on their X account did respond to the fact that he is being detained and deported, because we know fake news media will try to water it down. They go on to say that the sanctuary politicians and the fake news won't tell you the truth about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's an MS-13 gang member, human trafficker, wife beater, child predator, and criminal illegal alien. Listen, I'm not naive. Let's say half of that is false, which means half of it is true. Let's say none of it is true, except the fact that he is an illegal alien. Why are we skipping over that? That alone warrants their ability to deport him on sight. Now, they go on to this thread showing all of the supporting documentation about who he really is. But guys, once you buy into the propaganda, you're not looking at any of this. You're not believing any of this. In fact, you would be led to believe something like this. ICE is holding Kilmar Abrego Garcia and refusing to answer questions from his lawyers, while the Trump admin continues to spread lies about his case. Instead of spewing unproven allegations on social media, they need to put up or shut up in court. Mr. Abrego Garcia must be allowed to defend himself. Now, this is Senator Chris Van Hollen, and I wonder if Rachel Morin, why wasn't she able to defend herself? Whatever happened in that situation? And all the other crimes that have been committed against American citizens in the state of Maryland, might I add. And we're going to get to that state here shortly. But here's what the president had to say in response to not only Mr. Garcia being detained, but the fact that Democrats aggressively defend him.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, MS-13 gangbanger and human trafficker Kilmar Abrego Garcia turned himself into ICE in Baltimore. Do you have any comment on this? And why are the Democrats so emotionally attached to this man who beats his wife and is part of a terrorist organization?
Because they think he's going to be good for votes, and I think he's very bad for votes. These people are deranged. He's not good for votes. He beat the hell out of his wife. His wife is afraid to even talk about him. She's been mauled by this animal. And, through a system of liberal courts, he's doing things. But, no, we have that under control. And Pam has got that very much under control. Do you want to comment on it, Pam?
No, we've got him under control. He will no longer terrorize our country. He's currently charged with human smuggling, including children. The guy needs to be in prison. He doesn't need to be on the streets like all these liberals want him to be. And as part of this operation here in D.C., we've also taken off MS-13 members. We've taken, I think just last night, we got a TDA guy off our streets right here, right around from where we all work. Another TDA member gone because of this project. So we're going to keep America safe from all of these foreign terrorist organizations, including Abrego Garcia.
Yeah, see, the interesting thing about this entire story is the details Democrats continue to leave out. This gentleman went to the immigration court and said, hey, you guys can deport me. Just don't deport me back to my home country. That's what the original order was for. But that doesn't mean he can't be deported to another country. And of course, Congresswoman Jasmine Ghetto Crockett says, let's be clear, deporting Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Uganda makes no sense. It's not his home country. Nothing about this process has been fair. ICE is targeting him with cruelty. This is the weaponization of government, not justice. But didn't he target people with cruelty like his wife, allegedly? Right? I mean, let's get real here. You guys chose the wrong fighter, okay? I don't know why they're willing to die on this hill for Mr. Garcia. It's fascinating. Okay, so listen, let's get your guys' reaction in the comment section below. First, starting with Chicago. I know it, you know it. Everybody knows it. Even people in Australia know it. Chicago is a crime-ridden city. And the mayor has one of the lowest approval ratings in history, 7%. So let me know if you do support the president sending in the National Guard into Chicago, which takes me to my second thing here. As it pertains to Governor Wes Moore and the stolen valor situation, do you agree he did commit stolen valor? You either received the award or you didn't. And finally, this Kilmar Abrego Garcia. It's not a matter of if he will be deported. It's a matter of when he will be deported. He is an illegal alien. He did commit crimes. And so at this point, my question is, don't you agree that he has received due process, and in some cases probably more due process than what regular American citizens receive? Let me know if you guys agree with that, and just give me all your thoughts in the comment section below. Okay, so in our next video, the Democrat Party has been devastated by more numbers, and we're talking about voter registrations, which are in the trash. And of course, ABC did a number on the party in regards to that. And also, the Vice President, JD Vance, had to school the media on diplomacy and crime. If you missed out on both those stories from yesterday, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.